listen to Sway and others, but yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. Let me ask you something. You mentioned LL and the beef and it staying on wax back then. I was listening to someone describe the bridge beef, the bridge versus the Bronx, one of the first, if not the first big hip hop beef. Where did hip hop start? Did it start in the South Bronx or did it start in the bridge, Queensbridge? You had MC Shan going against KRS-One. And one thing that stood out to me was they said that this beef went on for years and it never spilled into the streets. It always stayed on wax. Do you think in 2024 that could be possible? Two people beefing on wax and it just stays on wax?
It depends on who's beefing, dude. It depends on who's beefing. If it's somebody over 40, yeah, I think it can stay on wax. Somebody under 40, very strong possibility it could go to the next level because they still trying to prove themselves. When you get to a certain age, you ain't got to prove yourself. You may get upset with somebody, but you ain't got to prove yourself to nobody. And that's the problem. That's the difference between a young buck and an old head. I ain't got to prove myself to shit. My 40 years speak for me. It's an old saying. It was two bulls on the hill, and a young bull and the old bull, and the young bull said, "Hey, let's run down the hill and fuck all the cows." And no, I'm sorry. He said, "Let's run down the hill and fuck some of the cows." And the old bull said, "No, let's walk down the hill and fuck all of them.
Fuck them all.
Fuck them all." Okay, big difference. Big difference. So, a lot of cats are, a lot of young guys feel they don't have the same fear, respect of the legal system like we did when we grew up. Hey, man, I do not want to go to prison. I don't want to go to jail. I damn sure don't want to go to prison. Okay, so whatever it is, we got to work this out. I'm not trying to get killed. And I'm not trying to kill nobody. Today, these cats feel that going to do 5, 6, 7, 8 years is a badge of honor. So words can turn into bloodshed, which is some bullshit. But that's unfortunately that's the era we're in right now.
Yeah, definitely. Did you keep your ear to the street back in the late 80s, early 90s when some of the most classic beefs were going on? The Eazy E versus, obviously, the Ruthless versus Death Row, and then you had, Kool Moe Dee. Yeah. Do you have and I know this, I'm a hip hop head, so I have an answer for this, but do you have a favorite beef, one where like, damn, this person came with that song, they came with this one, and it was just very exciting at one time?
My favorite beef was N.W.A. and Ice Cube. I mean, that shit right there was just hilarious to me because I'm like, what? That one for me had to be because it was so close to home. It was something that hit home. I mean, of all the beefs, I'm like, which one of y'all not gonna do something first? Because that was a beef that I knew wasn't gonna go nowhere. I bottom of my heart, I never thought it would go anywhere other than what it was, and that's what happened. Okay, it just knowing the players, knowing that, especially back then, that whole physical thing was very, very, it wasn't even heard of at that time. I think a couple of people had a couple of beefs back in the day. I remember 187 had something going with some folks, Cube or somebody like that, and I think Muggs had something going. But for the most part, it wasn't life threatening. I might whoop your ass backstage, but I'm not going. You ain't worried about me shooting up your house.
That's funny that you said that because you knew them personally. And this, let's see, but No Vaseline was probably about 88, 89-ish, right? About that? Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
89, maybe? Like someone correct me if I'm wrong. But so nothing physical happened there. You knew nothing physical was going to really happen there. You knew it wasn't really going to go anywhere because you knew all the players. But you also knew all the players fast forward 4 or 5 years later. Let's go 92, 93 when Eazy was beefing with Dre and Death Row. It was beefing with Ruthless, and they were meeting up at golf course, swinging golf clubs at each other, and people were showing up with pistols to places. What do you think changed from what was the difference between Ice Cube and N.W.A. beef in 89 versus Eazy E and Suge Knight in 92, 93?
By that time, people started listening real street cats to the game. That was you almost had, that was your qualification in most cases to be a part of certain camps. You had to be a real dude prepared to crash and burn to prove your loyalty. Back when it first started off, it was conversation. I mean, again, everybody in that situation was buddies. You know, they was all. That was when Eazy and Q them got into it. They were all friends at my house, kicking it. And all of a sudden, you know, a misunderstanding led them to a beef. But everybody knew everybody lived. Everybody knew too much about anybody, and they made some calls. And Cube just did what he did best, lyrically tagged that ass. But after a while, you got cats that are really doing this in the streets. They trying to rap to keep them going to prison. Different scenario. This right here is my life. Gonna help me feed my kids, keep me at the penitentiary, and help me from getting violated on my parole or probation, whatever the case may be. Bottom line is, give me a golf club. I will take your ass out behind this shit because I need this shit too bad.
Yeah, and it goes back to the music thing probably too, what you were saying, which we said 100 times on the show about just the house party versus the gangbang culture, that 88, 89, 90, 91, and then it was just a whole different animal in 92, 93, right, when these two major record labels were going at it.
Yeah, I mean,
and the gang element.
Yeah, the gang element was a lot stronger then. It was a lot stronger, and people, like I said, were prepared to crash and burn. And you know, hey, let's do it. You know, I just got out of this motherfucker. Hey, I still got my number. Shit, I go back.
Man, you know, Suge Knight has a podcast, and I can't lie, I listen to it every single week when he drops it, and he's dropping some of his truths, and others are disagreeing with it, but, you know, it is what it is. It's entertaining either way. But Suge said something that stood out to me. He said that he respected Jerry Heller because Jerry wouldn't necessarily just send the lawyers your way. He would send his goons your way. He would fight fire with fire. If you had a gangster, he had a bigger gangster for you. But, you know, what do you think about that comment?
True. See, but the different kind of is them goons that Jerry's sending, you might not see him coming. That's the part. That's the part that changed the game, Doc. They're not just, you know, they're not going to drive by you by my house. He might be at the grocery store. It might be the goddamn cashier or some shit. Put a hot one in your ass. We talking about folks that get shit done for real, okay? And I mean, I'm not saying other cats don't. I'm just saying the methods that they would use. You know, like I was watching was it Power Book with this Saturday, and homeboy came off as he went and got him a postal truck.